Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Kendall Otter, and you're watching Otter Creek Aquatics. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking about a new series I'm going to be recording, and this series is going to be called Tuesday Tips for a Healthier Fish Room. And this is just going to be some tips and tricks to help you guys out in your fish rooms, or if you have just one tank, two tanks, 100 tanks, however many tanks you have. These tips and tricks are things that you can do daily or weekly to help maximize the healthiness of your fish room. So for the first episode, we are going to be talking about observations, and this is going to be kind of a more complex than what it actually needs to be. I just want to talk about how much you should observe your tanks, your fish, the whole 9 yards. So the first part of the observation video, we are going to be looking at your tanks with the lights off, and this has a bunch of different benefits. You can see how your fish are acting at night. You can see if there's any fin nippers in the tank. You can see the fish that come out and feed at night. You can see if they're eating good. Just a whole bunch of different things. So I think that checking on your tanks with the lights off, it's super beneficial for your fish room. So just hopefully you can stay for the whole video and gather some knowledge from this. And the reason that I've started making these videos is because I see other people making them, and they've really helped me maximize the healthiness of my fish room. So I'm trying to take that knowledge that I've learned, turn it around, and pay it forward to you guys. So just sit back, relax, and enjoy episode number 1 of Tuesday Tips for a Healthier Fish Room, Observations. Like I mentioned earlier, our night observations are extremely important when we are doing our observations of our tanks. So you're just going to be checking out your tanks, making sure there isn't anything weird going on. Not even sure where the rainbow mosaic dragon guppies are. So you got them back here. Just want to check it out, and you can just use the overhead light of your room, or sometimes I will grab like a flashlight from my phone, just shine it down in here. You won't really see much movement going on when the lights are off. So you got most of your fish resting, but you just want to make sure that you don't have any fatalities or any fin nipping going on that you can see. I really like to do this in my shrimp tank. Shine the flashlight down in there. I usually don't do it on my fish tanks, but on my shrimp tanks I definitely like to. You can see we got a couple fire reds down here. Try and get focused in on them. Everything seems to be okay. And good news, I got my Blue Dreams on the way, so in the middle of this week we will have that tank filled up. And I just recently set this 10 gallon up, and there will be a video coming on that later. So for the breeding rack, we're looking pretty good. Come over here to the 55 gallon, check everything out. Really just making sure we have normal behavior, nothing really weird going on. And like I said, if you are feeding with the lights off for your night dwellers, then this would be a good time to check out their feedings. My angel pair, there they are. I know the hiding place is in here because I can usually never see them unless I shine a light down in there. We got our panda cories going crazy. If you look up here, you got all kinds of guppies, different sizes. Everything looks alright. And that's it. So we just got done checking out the tanks with the lights off, and I know you couldn't see them very well. That's not really the point of this video. I was just demonstrating on what you're looking for and how to look for it. Use a flashlight, simple things like that. Like I said, this really isn't rocket science, but it's some things that people overlook. And every morning when I come home from work, which is around 6:30, 7 in the morning, I come in here and just check everything out. And then on nights that I don't go to work, I'm usually up till 3 or 4 in the morning, so I'll just come in here around that time and check them out. So if you're not checking out your tanks with the lights off, you may consider doing it. It honestly has helped the healthiness of my fish room. I've been able to pinpoint a couple things, like corridors not eating well, not getting fed enough, so I made that adjustment. If you're not checking out your tanks with the lights off, you're never going to know that information, so just make sure you're doing it. It only takes a few minutes out of your day, and it will provide you with a lot healthier fish room or fish tank. And another thing is plecos. Plecos usually come out at night, but we'll talk more about them during the day later today. I always think it's tomorrow when I go to sleep, but it will be later today. I'm going to get some rest, and we'll check back in when the lights are in the morning, and we'll do our daytime observations. So until then, night. We're back. I got some really good rest today, but we're back later in the day when my lights came on, and we are going to finish doing the second part of the observation, which is the complete opposite of what we did before I went to sleep. Now it is going to be when the lights are on. Alright, so our observations with the lights on, it's no different than what we did last night. You're just going to be able to see a lot more. As you can see, now my fish are coming out, the ones that we had trouble finding last night. Just going to make sure they're all swimming around, looking happy. Nothing weird is going on. Couldn't see anything in this tank last night. Look how many little guppies are in here. still kind of hard to see on camera inside of a tank, especially like this. It has a bunch of moss, and all you're looking for is the little red shrimp. These should be shipped today, so I can't wait for a couple more days, and I'll be able to show these blue dreams off. Then we come over to the 55. And the reason I wanted to talk about my Pleco today, which is the Green Phantom Pleco. For some reason, he has actually been coming out during the day and then staying in at night, which it used to be just the opposite with him. He would only come out and eat at night and stay in during the day. But he comes out, which is really good for me because excuse me, from an observation standpoint, when you have a fish like this, it's really hard to get an observation on them, especially if they're staying in hiding places when your lights are on. So when your lights are on, this is going to be the majority of when you can see your actions. So if it's always staying in hiding places when the lights are on, you're not going to be able to notice if the fish is growing, if the fish is eating, if the fish has ick, if it's sick, anything. So one thing I would like to say is every now and then you gotta obstruct their hiding places. So probably a week or two ago, I actually took this little house right here, which is his home, and lifted it up, and he dove out of the, I'd say, bedroom window over here and came along the floor of the tank, and I was able to observe him, seeing that he had been growing. He's got some weight on him, and everything looked good. So if you got a fish like this that likes to hide in different places, it's always good to every now and then just maybe rearrange the tank so that fish comes out so you can observe it, or just pick that ornament or driftwood up where that fish likes to hide and move it around so that fish comes out and you're able to observe it. And we have my angelfish pair in the 38-gallon boat front here, and they're always out at the front of the glass. Always love to eat if you have angelfish, so you can act like you're getting ready to feed and see how they react. I've already fed my first round today, which wasn't much, but this is a time where you're really going to observe your feedings. I could have fed a little bit during this, but I didn't want it to turn into like a feeding video. I just wanted to talk about things that you're going to be looking for when you do your observations. So we got all kinds of guppy fry in here. This is a tank. It's hard to keep track. I usually just get down on one knee, make sure we're checking everything out. Try to look at each fish as much as you can. Make sure there's nothing going on. These panda cories crack me up. When I had my angelfish pair in here, they would not be doing this. They would just stay at the bottom doing nothing. Now that these guppies are all in here swimming around, they think they're a guppy, honestly. But that's my favorite type of favorite type of Corydoras. If you've never heard me say that before, absolutely love them. Got all kinds of little fry back here. You're not going to really be able to tell much on them. It's even hard to observe feedings, especially if you have a tank this full of fish. Like, you want to feed enough to where you know those fish are getting fed. If not, maybe you could take a net and scoop some out, put them in like a little breeder basket or something, and feed, and see if they're feeding that way. I know I've done that before just to make sure that they're getting fed. I'll do that every once in a while. But I think that's all we got for the light time observation. Alright guys, so as we wrap up this video, I kind of just wanted to do a recap on what we talked about. So, I talked about observation with the lights off. We're talking about night dwellers, fish that only come out at night, checking for fin nipping at night, making sure there's nothing else weird going on with the lights out that we wouldn't normally see when we're looking at the tanks with the lights on. And we did our observation with the lights on. We're checking during feedings, make sure there's no weird behavior going on, like fish hiding in corners, fish not eating, and obstructing hiding places on fish that only come out at night, so that we can get a good vision of them with the lights on. Make sure that they're eating enough, make sure they're looking healthy. So as we wrap this up, I just wanted to get your thoughts on this series. I'm extremely excited about it. I can't wait to think of some more ideas on tips and tricks to promote a healthier fish room for yourself and even for myself. So please leave your comments, let me know what you think. Subscribe, hit that notification bell so you know next week when I upload the Tuesday tips. And let's just help each other grow. Let's help each other become better fish keepers, make it easier on ourselves, make it cheaper on ourselves, because everyone loves to save money. But that's all we got for this Tuesday tips. Thanks for watching episode number 1, Observations, and until next time, see ya.